To continue our discussion on problems involving sets, we have here example number 2. Okay, so a group of 50 students were asked whether they use either Facebook or Twitter or both. 35 of these students use Facebook and 22 use Twitter. Now here are the questions. Letter A. How many students use Facebook only? Letter B. How many students use Twitter only? And letter C. How many students use both social networking sites? Again, this problem involves two sets. Okay, what we have here? Let's see. Okay, so for our solution, okay, we can take note that aside from the formal notations of set theory, as we have illustrated in the first example, capital letters minimize the burden of doing operations on sets. So meaning we can use capital letters aside from the formal set notations. Okay, we let U is the number of students who were asked in the survey. F are the students who use Facebook only. T, students who use Twitter only. And students who don't use both social networking sites. FT, students who use both Facebook and Twitter. F plus FT, students who use Facebook. T plus FT, students who use Twitter. As you can see in the Venn diagram, we have indicated there the letters, so we can surmise, and later we are going to assign values in every regions of this Venn diagram to illustrate and solve the problem being discussed here. Okay, let's go to the given values for our universal set. So 50 students. For when we say universal set, these are the elements of the set, or the set in a particular discussion. So here we are talking of 50 students who were surveyed whether they use Facebook or Twitter. So all of them is equal to 50. Okay, right here. Okay. Okay, 50 students. Then the F plus FT, this represents the students who use Facebook. Okay, that is enclosed in this red circle, the F plus FT. So this is a given number, which means that there are 35. There are 35 students who use Facebook, but that doesn't mean that only Facebook. Some of them uses both Facebook and Twitter. Okay, 35. And the T plus FT, close or within the blue circle, these are the students who use Twitter. In this portion, Twitter only. In this intersection of T, both Twitter and Facebook. Since n is 0, meaning there are no students who don't use the social networking sites under our study, then the universal set is equal to the value within these two sets, the F plus FT plus T. Okay, so meaning all the elements in these two sets or circles is equal to 50. Okay, now we are going to find the FT, meaning this is question letter C. How many students use both social networking sites? And we are going also to find the F. Okay, this F represents question A. How many students use Facebook only? And the last one, this T represents question B. How many students use Twitter only? Okay, so we have here the formulas. First, we're going to find the FT, because this is much easier to find than the F and T. Okay, meaning we're going to solve question letter C first. Okay, so FT, these are the number of students who use both Facebook and Twitter, is equal to F plus FT. So this means, so F plus FT, these are the numbers given for the students who use Facebook. Okay, so 35. So 35 students who use Facebook. But it doesn't mean that they only use Facebook. They use Facebook or also Twitter. Then plus T plus FT, these are the students who use Twitter. Okay, plus 22. Okay, this is plus. Okay, minus the F plus FT plus T. This represents the universal set. Okay, and the universal set for the number of students B as totals 50. Okay, so we add this 2. This is equal to how many? 57. Okay, am I correct? Then minus 50. So by subtraction, it becomes 7. So meaning there are 7 students who use Facebook and Twitter at the same time. Okay, now let's proceed to the second equation. The F is equals to F plus FT minus FT. Okay, so in this equation, we are looking for the F. And that F goes to question A. How many students use Facebook only? Okay, going to the equation, so F plus FT. Okay, we have there 35. So 35 students use Facebook, but not only. Okay, is that clear? Okay, minus the FT, meaning students who use both social networking sites. So our FT has been solved prior, which is equal to 7. Okay, here by subtraction, 35 minus 7 is 28. Okay, am I correct? Yes. So meaning we have here 28 students who use Facebook only. And let's go to the last equation. T is equals to T plus FT minus FT, meaning we are dealing with question B. Okay, so for question B, how many students use Twitter only? Okay, so based on the formula, T plus FT, that is equal to 22. Okay, 22 minus the FT, those students who use both social networking sites, which is equal to 7. Okay, by subtraction, 22 minus 7, okay, is equal to 15. Okay, we're correct? Okay, we're correct. So we have here 15 students who use Twitter only. Okay, if we are going to sum this up, these numbers, 28 plus 7, that is 35, okay, plus 15, 45, 50, okay, total of 50 students. We have no students that does not use social networking sites in our survey. So this is equal to 0. Okay, just make it clear, a little bit clear. Equals 0. Okay. Okay, to recap this problem. So letter A, how many students use Facebook only? So there are 28. Okay, there are 28 students who use Facebook only. So 28 students use Facebook only. Now for letter B, how many students use Twitter only? Okay, in our Venn diagram, we have here 15 students. Okay, 15 students who use Twitter only. And for letter C question, how many students use both social networking sites? So we have there the FT, which represents the number of students who use both social networking sites. So we have 7 students. Okay, 7 students who use both social networking sites. Okay, I hope that sounds clear and it helps you to understand this particular example.